Hi, my name is Nina Means. I'm director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and you're here for another episode of Coffee Talk. We do this talk once a week on Monday mornings just to get our week kicked off. And this is an opportunity for us to talk about some things that are happening in our industry, as well as things that are happening around the Fashion Incubator. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about digital fashion. Digital fashion is sustainable fashion. Digital fashion really is going to require a new workforce, what we talked about last week. But this week, we're talking about digital fashion really having staying power. And that's something that a lot of people kind of been kicking around the idea, about where does digital fashion really fit into our lifestyle? Where does it fit into the world that we're living in now and where it will go in the future? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. One of the things that we really believe in strongly at the ACC Fashion Incubator is really leveraging fashion technology to build a more sustainable world, as well as really looking at ways that we can help, tool our local workforce and to be able to support really the shift of what we're seeing in terms of market growth throughout, not just here in Austin and Texas, but throughout the world. We are global citizens, and so it's really about how all of these pieces are getting connected. And so today we're going to talk about digital fashion really being here to stay. And, one of the places that we're seeing this digital fashion space really live is, first kind of showing up in the social media, fast fashion space, but also a high uptick in places of gaming or simulated environments. A lot of these 3D, AR, VR experiences in terms of conferences. One of my favorites, Afrotech, did a conference that was completely simulated. And so you're kind of going through this world and kind of experiencing and networking with different people. The avatars get to pick out their clothes. You choose what you want to look like at the conference in this completely simulated world. And so the fact that they were able to pull something like that together is really exciting to see all those different components come together kind of in a real life, living in a simulated life and communicating, connecting, and making contacts that way. So we're looking at different ways this is showing up. It's really crucial part we're seeing this digital fashion is really kind of becoming a crucial part of what's needed to really build some of these fashion brands in the future. Some brands are deciding that they only want to create digital fashion, so they never intend to make product with materials in the real world. And then there's other brands who are saying, we're gonna, do what we've been doing, some of these heritage lines, or, kind of your traditional apparel or soft goods or handbag business, shoes, are saying, we are going to continue to do what we've been doing, but we're going to add this digital component so that we don't get left out of all this exciting things that are happening in this new digital space. A report from a crypto investment firm called Grayscale estimates that the revenue from virtual gaming alone throughout the world could grow to 400 billion by 2025. So this is something where people are spending a lot of money, a lot of time in spaces of esports and other spaces that are making a huge impact on the way that we live and the kind of products that are available. We spend so much time in the digital space. The last time you probably purchased something online, it probably had some sort of augmented reality integration at the e-commerce site to help you make a more informed decision. Maybe you could hold up your phone and see the chair or desk or piece of furniture that you're like, I don't know if that's going to fit in my space, but they're able to scale and put it into your space virtually. Or maybe you're not sure about a particular outfit and you're able to try something on or try on eyeglasses in an augmented reality space. All of that is digital fashion tools that are kind of creating spaces that are transferable to other industries, whether it's furniture, whether it's, eyewear or footwear. It's using a similar kind of back end to be able to create these things. The mechanics would be different per category, but you're essentially creating something that's meant to live digitally to help inform consumer decisions. And sometimes those consumer decisions decide to keep it in the digital space. And so nothing is being made It's just being designed and created virtually. As we're seeing the metaverse grow, if you're not really well, versed on the metaverse, and definitely encourage you to take some time to look up what's happening in that space. But the Motley Fool, according to Emergen research, says that the metaverse has the potential to become an $800 billion space by 2028, which means that 43% of annual growth between now and then, would be happening annually, 43% annual growth. We don't have another business industry that's growing in that speed. 43% annually is a lot of growth. Companies are performing well at much less than that, right? And so the idea that your 43% annual growth over the next 6 years is a huge deal. This totally has, just this large addressable market opportunity that could grow, beyond kind of what we'd initially think. I think being in the space of the pandemic and COVID, some of these things have kind of created kind of these expectations of, I don't know, we're thinking that we've got it all figured out, or that this is how life will be kind of forever and ever, and then enter metaverse, and it's like, or maybe things are shifting. And so the fact that this space is growing so substantially really says that our life will look very different in the next 6 years. Companies like DressX, which is a digital fashion firm that's paired up with Farfetch, which is like their UK luxury online e-commerce shopping site, created these digital spaces, digital fashion, to live in these e-com spaces. And so whether it's for, again, in real life or for digital use, you get those options with that kind of product being launched in those spaces. We see this everywhere. E-commerce is doing augmented reality, AR, and 3D integrations throughout our entire experience. And honestly, I start to seek them out. I'm not sure about you guys, but I started to seek them out because it's helping me make a better informed decision, especially in the pandemic, when I can't go in or have chosen not to go into a lot of places that I thought maybe were crowded, or we got a new variant of the virus. And so maybe we didn't feel as comfortable interacting in those spaces. However, now having these other options brings all of those decisions right into the comfort of your own home, whether it's clothing and making sure that it fits you correctly, or, purchasing something for your home. All of those things are kind of being, all of those decision spaces that you needed to be in person to make, are no longer, it's no longer something that's kind of keeping you back from making those decisions. It's helping you, it's facilitating the way that we live now, and the way that we've had to live over the last 2 years. And so this has just accelerated us so far. Just a little bit more on stats before I close out, because I really do, I love the numbers. If you're in fashion, a lot of people think that, oh, you're just into the aesthetics and the appearance, but it is a business, $1.5 trillion globally. And so you've got to be about the numbers too. So it's not just about creating amazing collections that people love. It's about creating saleable, profitable business. And so we're going to dig a little bit more into some of these numbers about digital fashion, and then I'm going to say see you later. So the last batch of numbers for you, this is talking specifically about the AR market and how that relates to digital fashion. The current value, just for your interest, the current value of the AR market stands at $3.5 billion. There will be 1.73 billion augmented reality users on mobile by 2024. All right, that's a lot of people to sell to. 70% of consumers believe that AR can bring them benefits. I think I named off a few there just a moment ago. Revenue for AR will hit $340 billion by 2028. Okay, that's a big deal. That's a huge, addressable market, right? 67% of media planners and buyers want AR and VR ads in digital marketing campaigns, which means that digital fashion has to be on the digital campaigns. Not necessarily, sometimes you can do some in real life, but what stretches that budget further is having those digital assets as well. Augmented reality users fall into the 16 to 34 age group. And so as we see, various purchasers kind of in that space, they're kind of coming of age, and coming into money for the first time and making some decisions about where and how they want to spend those dollars. And so, the idea of that primary group being 16 to 34 and then saying plus 8 years from now, what will change about that group? Those 16-year-olds are now going to be out of college, maybe in a master's program, maybe working at their first job, and really interacting with the world in a different way than they are even now. More of them will be interacting in a different way. Those 34-year-olds would then be 42 and have a lot of other resources and assets. 8 years in your career can be a significant jump in your income. And so the idea that that group who is really focused on augmented reality use, is growing into spaces of financial influence. And so for digital fashion, it is here to stay. It's not going anywhere because the market will demand it. The AR market is projected to be worth over 18 billion next year. Today, the current value of the AR market is 3.5 billion. So next year, it's projected to be worth over 18 billion. So if you're looking for growth spaces, I am not a financial advisor. That is not what we do here at the Fashion Incubator. I'm, just kind of sharing some research that I've been finding as we're helping to support the way that our fashion industry is changing and growing. We want to make sure our designers are not just able to work by hand, but that they're able to work digitally so they can participate in this market, so they can sell their skills into this market. It's really important. And so as we see potential and we see growth, our goal as a fashion incubator, our goal as a college is to educate the next round of fashion designers. So you'll have people to hire to help create these digital assets in your firms and your companies. Or maybe they'll start their own firm, their own company, and serve this industry on their own. So guys, I really enjoyed our talk today. I hope you found this information valuable. Digital fashion is here to stay. And this is something that I feel personally very passionate about. I'm really excited about seeing how much more we can do in this space. If these videos, these coffee talks are a benefit to you, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. This is something that we would love to hear your input on as well. So if you have questions or you want to hear a topic discussed in more detail, definitely send us a quick note at fashion.incubator@austincc.edu. We'd love to keep you updated on all the exciting new programs that we have coming up. We do a lot of virtual series. And so even if you're not directly in the Central Texas area, you can still participate. So we'd love to have you. Definitely send us a quick note if you're curious, and we will get you connected. Again, my name is Nina Means. I'm the director for Austin Community College Fashion Incubator, and you've been watching Coffee Talk. Have a great week, guys.